So we've talked a lot about what relational databases are, and in this video, we're going to be looking at two things just to intimate ourselves. We're going to be looking at non-relational databases, and we're going to be looking at the role of a DBMS, what a DBMS is. We're mentioning DBMS. We're going to be looking at what a DBMS is and what role does it perform in um, the whole database thing. So, like I said, the learning outcomes for this video is that we should understand the basics of non-relational databases, and also understand the role of DBMS in database. Now, non-relational databases, one thing you should note is they are also known as NoSQL databases. They are also known as NoSQL databases, and the no doesn't mean no SQL, it means not only SQL databases. And these are quite different from our normal relational databases. Because remember we said relational databases store data in tabular form, in tables, rows, and columns. And the difference is just simple. Non-relational databases do not store information in tabular form. Instead, they use structures like storing information in documents. So an example of the documents is what you can see on the right. And this is an example of a MongoDB document. A MongoDB is one of the DBMSs for non-relational database. We'll be explaining DBMS in a bit. So this is basically, you can see we have different fields: ID, name, address, date of birth, doctor name, office name, known illness, current medication, medicine dosage, etc. And if this was to be stored in a relational database, all this would be columns, right? And we would have the values in different cells. But that is not the case for non-relational database. They are usually stored in documents like this. Now, they have advantages over relational databases. They perform faster, and that's simply because when you query the data, it doesn't really have to go um, across the whole table to get the information you need. Now, I should point out now that this particular course is really not going to focus on non-relational databases. We are going to be focusing strictly on relational databases, and that's why we are using Postgres. That's why we're using Postgres. But I just felt we should have an idea of what a non-relational database is. Now, they are they are ideal, like we can see on the slide, for storing data that may be changed frequently, right? So when we have a data that might be updated frequently, very frequently, they are very ideal for storing those kind of data. And they are also ideal for storing data that have, for applications that have different types of data. So we might have pictures stored in those documents. We might have different types of data stored in that particular document. So they are ideal for that particular type of application. Now, let's go to DBMS's database management systems. And basically, a database management system serves as an intermediary, right, between the database and the user, whatever application is going needs to access that database. So that DBMS stands as an intermediary or a middleman between the user and the database. Like I said on the slide here, it's a database typically requires a comprehensive database software program known as a DBMS. Like I said, it serves as an interface between the database and the end user or the programs. So we see it here, DBMS serving as an intermediary between the database and the user. Now, in relational database, we use SQL, to communicate with the database. And there are many types of DBMSs that help us communicate with database with SQL for relational database. We have examples like MySQL. We have PostgreSQL, which is what we'll be focusing on for this whole program. We have Oracle as well. Now, we have some DBMSs for non-relational database. An example is MongoDB, like I mentioned earlier. You can see a full example here. MongoDB, we have Cassandra, we have Amazon DynamoDB. Those are examples of DBMSs for non-relational database. So just as a wrap up for this video, we've learned many things. We know what non-relational databases are, that they don't store data in tabular form. They store data in form of documents mostly. And they are faster because we don't have to go through the whole table when querying the database. Also, we learned that they are ideally used for data that changes frequently. And we also learned about databases. Remember, we said databases serves as DBMSs serves as an interface between the database and the user, the end user. So that is all for this video, and in the next videos we'll be looking more into databases and try to get more intimate with them. So see you in the next video. Thank you.